Okay, hey guys. So, I know it's been a few days. I had a stretch where I was not hardly sleeping at night, so I just really didn't do much video-wise. I apologize for that. I did get some sleep. I feel much better. I do have to work today from 3 to 11. Just wanted to do kind of a quick video. I thought about splitting these up, but I don't know if I want to do that because they'd be really, really tiny. Excuse me, so I'm just going to do one video of all of these herbs. So, I hope everybody's been doing alright. I thank you to the new subscribers out there. And pretty soon I will get some stuff together to where I can do like a welcome package for our new subscribers. So, I am currently working on ideas for that, so bear with me, guys, and I'll start getting something out there for our new subscribers. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing I'm going to be doing a lot of videos tomorrow. I'm going to be repotting all my fruit bushes. I did get the pots for them. I got another full strawberry kit. I got one for parsley, one for basil.
No. Was there an accident? No.
And Thursday, I'm going to get a couple more things of strawberries for the strawberry tower. And hopefully another one of the trees. And I've got to get one of the big bags of potting soil. But anyway, I'm going to get on with this video. This is 32 essential herbs, backyard homestead. And here we go. There are endless possibilities of herbs to grow, but here are 32 of the most popular ones you'll find at your local nursery, along with tips on how to use them. Number 1, basil. Basil is a tender annual, very sensitive to frost. Sow the seed directly into the garden after the soil is warm with an extra dose of compost. Plant it in full sun and water it weekly in dry weather. This fast-growing plant grows to 2 feet. To keep the plant bushy, pinch out the blooms or the tips of each stem before it flowers. Harvest the leaves through the summer. To dry basil, harvest just before it blooms, screen dry, or freeze. And we'll probably I know I'm going to get a dehydrator, so I'm going to be putting them up like that. My feet hurt. Okay, and basil still remains one of my favorite herbs. Alright, pesto. I'd actually like to try to make some of that. Pesto is an Italian basil sauce that is fabulous on pasta, hot or cold. It also enlivens grilled fish, steamed vegetables.
Pesto?
Yeah.
It's good for pizza sauce.
Yeah, it is. And Andrew likes pizza sauce that way. Pesto with the white sauce kind of thing. No, you're fine. I've never had the pesto, but I'd be willing to take this recipe and try it.
Imagine a homemade pizza made with like the pesto pizza sauce in a homemade pizza oven, like just with the fire cooking.
Fire baked pizza. That's what we're gonna do on the property.
Dude, my mouth is watering.
Because I'm going to include that. I'm going to include building a pizza oven in our outdoor kitchen.
Good! I'll be using that thing all the damn time. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Chloe. Gotta love the property talks. Okay. It also enlivens grilled fish, steamed vegetables, crostini, and omelets. Experiment with substituting parsley or other herbs for some of the basil and use pecans or walnuts in place of the pine nuts. Ooh, I have pecans and walnuts. Okay. The recipe is 2 cups of fresh basil leaves, a pinch of salt, and I'm going to be ordering the Redmond real salt. 1 or 2 cloves of garlic, a half a cup of grated Parmesan or Romano cheese, a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and 1/4 to 1/2 cup of pine nuts, or walnuts or pecans. Using a food processor, preferably with a plastic blade, combine the basil leaves, salt, and peeled garlic cloves until a coarse paste is formed. Add the grated cheese and process to blend. With the processor running, slowly pour in the oil in a thin stream. Add the nuts and process until smooth. That sounds really good, doesn't it? When I get the Redmond's real salt, I'm also going to do a video on making the tooth powder, because I got to do something with my teeth. Plus, Doug and Stacy had some really good stuff on their channel last night, too, about using coconut oil and a pinch of the Redmond's real salt with it and just brushing your teeth with it.
Actually, you can find some oil pulling stuff. It's almost like a mouthwash type of thing. You can buy on TikTok. It's all natural. Shop, it's all natural. It's an oil pulling thing. You can use as a mouthwash and stuff. Like raising it up instead of like anyone who has issues with their teeth.
See how much it is. Use immediately or store in the refrigerator with a half-inch coating of olive oil on top. To freeze pesto, prepare without the cheese and cover with a half-inch oil of olive oil. Add the cheese after thawing.
My mom says I have a bad temper.
To make it easy to use small amounts of pesto, freeze it in ice cube trays. When frozen, transfer the cubes to plastic freezer bags for storage, and it makes about 2 cups. That actually sounds really good. That recipe, once again, was 2 cups of fresh basil leaves, a pinch of salt, 1 to 2 cloves of garlic, a half a cup of grated Parmesan or Romano cheese, a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil, and 1/2 to 1/4 to a half a cup of pine nuts, walnuts, or pecans. And you use a food processor. It says preferably with a plastic blade. Combine the basil leaves, salt, and peeled garlic cloves until a coarse paste is formed. Add the grated cheese and process to blend. With the food processor running, slowly pour in the olive oil in a thin stream. Add the nuts and process until smooth. So there's your recipe for that. The next one is bay leaves. I am going to get a seedling for a bay tree, and that is going in our greenhouse. Bay is a slow-growing evergreen shrub with aromatic leaves. A sun-loving plant, it is a tender perennial that must go indoors during winter and cold climates. It is difficult to propagate. Bay can grow to a height of 10 feet. So that would definitely be a great addition to our greenhouse.
I was so angry at him.
And there's the bay right there. I think I'm going to try to go ahead and get 2 live bay tree plants. Okay. Burnet, or Burnet, I think it's Burnet. Burnet's cucumber-flavored leaves are used in drinks, soups, and salads. It is easily grown from seed. Burnet grows 1 to 2 feet tall in sun or light shade in slightly alkaline soil. Okay, and then there's the bay leaf, the Burnet, right there. Catmint, or catnip. Beloved by felines, catmint is used in tea by humans as a cough remedy and as an aid to digestion. These plants are 2 to 3 feet high, easily grown in sun or light shade. Catmint tolerates most soils. Chamomile. Tea made from chamomile blossoms is used as a soothing tranquilizer. It is also used as a tonic. Chamomile grows easily from seed or divisions. It grows up to 10 inches with a spreading growth habit. Edible flowers. Many flowers not only are lovely to look at, but they also add delicate texture or taste to foods. Use them as garnishes or to decorate a cake. Some favorites are borage, calendula, chive blossoms, clove pinks, elderflowers, lavender, mints, nasturtiums, rose petals, and violets. Larger flowers, I almost said fleurs. Larger flowers such as daylilies and squash blossoms may be stuffed or fried. For culinary purposes, be sure to use organically grown flowers that are free from pesticides. Chives. These small onion-like plants are useful in salad soups and egg dishes. Hardy perennials, they reach 12 to 18 inches in height. Cut off the mauve-blue flower heads to keep the plants growing, but leave them on later in the season for foraging bees. Chives prefer full sun, rich soil, and plentiful water. Mulch around the plants to keep out weeds and grasses. Harvest chives as soon as the spears are a few inches long. Snipping out entire spears encourages tender new growth. Chives do not dry well. Now, I didn't have a problem drying mine, so freeze them for winter use. Okay, costmary, and that's also called Bible leaf. Its fragrant leaves with a minty flavor were pressed and used as bookmarks in Bibles during colonial days. Today, costmary is used as a garnish in tea and for potpourri. Propagate by root division. The plants grow 2 to 3 feet high. Costmary likes sun and ordinary garden soil. And that's what costmary looks like right there. All right, dill. I've had a hard time growing dill, but you know what? I'm gonna do it. Dill is a hardy annual that grows 2 to 3 feet tall. Plant in groupings to keep it supported in windy weather. Sow seed directly in the garden. Dill does best in full sun and sandy or loamy, well-drained soil that is slightly acidic. pH 5.8 to 6.5. Enrich soil with compost or well-rotted manure for best growth. Dill reseeds itself easily.
Danny stuffed playing parts down Kyle's throat. What? You told Danny to watch his temper. What else did you worry about?
Both dillweed and dill seed are used in cooking. The weed is mild, but the seeds are pungent. Harvest dillweed anytime, but its volatile oils are highest just before flowering. Cut seed heads when the majority of the seeds are formed. Even though some flowers are still blooming, thresh the seeds after drying. Echinacea, otherwise known as coneflower, very medicinal. Echinacea is widely used to stimulate or support the body's immune system. A perennial that loves full sun, Echinacea grows to about 3 feet, spreading gradually. Butterflies love this plant. When the blossoms are finished, then they dry out and reseed themselves. Remove the spent blooms if you don't want this to occur. To harvest, dig the roots after blooming, usually in early fall. Harvest only 2 to 4-year-old roots, making sure that you leave enough plants for future use. Wash and dry, then chop coarsely. Store thoroughly dried roots in a tightly covered glass container away from heat and light. And you can also use the flower itself too.
I wonder why it wasn't me in that.
Why? What?
Why I have to live every single day without them.
Hmm?
You know, when Dan called, I thought, maybe this is it.
Okay. Make an echinacea tincture. Tinctures are a simple and useful way to make the healing properties of herbs available to you. Use the instructions below on the video to make a basic echinacea tincture. At the first sign of a cold or flu's onset, herbal experts recommend 30 drops of tincture every 3 hours for the first 2 days only. Huh? Excuse me.
The chain was kind of wrapped around the toe from his neck a little bit, but it wasn't tight, so she got out of it. I was just like, dude, that scared me.
You will need pure grain alcohol, also known as Everclear. If your state does not sell it, look for the highest proof brand of vodka or brandy. And I'll probably go for either the Smirnoff vodka in the half gallon or the Bacardi. Because I know those are good. I gotta quit scrunching. Also hot. It went from cold to hot. Just overnight, you guys. So yeah, the ones that I'm going to be using more than likely are going to be between the Bacardi rum, because that's 80 proof, and the Smirnoff vodka. If you do not want to ingest alcohol, place drops of tincture in a small amount of warm water and stir to evaporate the alcohol. Number 1. Combine 3/4 cup of alcohol with 3/4 cup of distilled water in a jar with a tight-fitting lid. Add 1½ ounces of dried echinacea. 3. Replace the lid and set the jar in a cool, dark spot. 4. Shake the mixture daily for 2 weeks. 5. Strain the mixture to remove the herb. Do it quickly or the alcohol will evaporate. Try pouring the mixture into a strainer lined with an unbleached coffee filter and place it in the refrigerator to slow alcohol evaporation. Then squeeze the filter to remove as much liquid as possible. Store in a cool place in a dark-colored glass bottle with an eyedropper fitted into the lid. Label including the type of tincture and the date. Caution: echinacea can cause adverse reactions in people who are allergic to sunflowers. Do not use if you have a severe systemic immune disorder or a collagen disease such as lupus or scleroderma. Echinacea should be used with caution by pregnant women. Always make a positive identification of any plant before using it. You gonna bring her in?
Playing.
Fennel, which I do. I have the seeds for the bronze fennel. Herb fennel is a hardy biennial that becomes a perennial in favorable climates. It reaches 3 to 5 feet. Fennel prefers a rich, well-drained soil and full sun. Add lime if your soil pH is below 6.0. Harvest leaves just before the plant flowers. Fennel adversely affects the growth of other plants nearby. It is related to dill, and the two should not be interplanted because they may cross-pollinate, resulting in dilly fennel or fennelly dill. That would actually be kind of funny. I should do that just to see what happens. Just for funsy kind of thing. Feverfew. Okay, hold on. There's the fennel right there. And if you guys have never seen it, the echinacea is right there. And I love those flowers, and we will definitely have a lot of that planted. That and the calendula and the chamomile. Yeah. Okay, feverfew, and I do have seeds for that. Biennial or perennial, as the name implies, this hardy medicinal herb is credited with many beneficial properties. It is easily grown from seed or division, and the plant reaches 2 to 3 feet. It does best in sun or light shade in a well-drained soil. And here's the feverfew. And that stuff is actually mentioned in Dr. Quinn. And so is another medicinal herb called foxglove. Garlic. This pungent herb is grown for the flavor of its corms or cloves. Garlic needs full sun, rich soil, and a pH between 6.0 and 6.8, and even moisture. Plant it in the fall at about the time of the first frost for a summer harvest, or in spring to harvest a fall crop. Harvest before flowering when the stalks start to turn brown. Dig up the plant carefully, brush off the dirt, and spread the heads out on soil or a screen to dry. There's the garlic right there. Horehound. The leaves are dried for tea and used fresh in candy and cough syrup. Grown from seed, cuttings, or division, the plants reach 1 to 2 feet. Horehound needs full sun and dry, sandy soil. And there's a picture of the horehound. This doesn't go into much detail about, like what types of things they're used for, but okay, braiding garlic. Braiding garlic heads is the best way to preserve them because air can circulate around the hung braid. The soft neck variety works best. Start making the braids as soon as you pull the heads from the ground, so the stems are still pliable. Brush off the soil rather than rinsing off the heads. Be sure to use heads that have their leaves attached. On a flat surface, start with 3 fat heads and braid their leaves together. Then add other heads like French braiding hair. For braids you plan to give away, or if you care a lot about the appearance of a braid. Oh.
Come on. Come on.
Or if you care a lot about the appearance of a braid, put the heads so closely together that the leaves don't show. You can use light wire to reinforce the braids. When you've done as many heads as you want, braid the last of the leaves and tie off with a raffia or twine, forming a loop for hanging. Hang in a well-ventilated area. And these hang well in a root cellar. See? The braided garlic. Okay. Hyssop. A hardy ancient herb used as a purifying tea and for medicine, hyssop is said to cure all manner of ailments from head lice to shortness of breath. Start by seed or division. The plant grows to 3 feet. Hyssop prefers full sun and well-drained alkaline soil. And that's what hyssop looks like right there. That's hyssop. Lavender. And I have my lavender plant that I bought. An aromatic herb used fresh or dried in sachets and pillows, lavender grows from seeds, cuttings, or divisions. Plant it in a protected location in northern areas. It prefers lime soil. English lavender produces the loveliest blossoms and fragrant oil. Plants grow to 1 to 2 feet. And there's the lavender right there. Lemon balm. Now, I've had that, and that stuff is really good, really nice. The lemon-scented leaves are used dried or fresh for tea, jelly, and flavoring. The plant attracts bees, so that would be a great one to plant in our bee garden, our beehive flower garden. And what else did they say? The chives? Chives are another one that are great for bees. Yep. 10 years. Leave them on later in the season for foraging bees. Yep. Okay. Start from cuttings or divisions. Plants grow 1 to 3 feet high. Plant lemon balm in sun or light shade in well-drained soil. And there's the lemon balm right there. Lemon verbena. Lemon verbena is a tender aromatic perennial that cannot stand frost, so it must be used as a houseplant during winter in northern climates. Its leaves drop at the... Huh? Yeah. I know, me too. Its leaves drop in the fall, but they return promptly. It is fragrant and grows to 10 inches. And that is what lemon verbena looks like. See, Chloe? That's what the plant looks like.
What one?
That one right there, lemon verbena.
Does it actually smell like lemons?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It's very fragrant.
that smell! Oh.
Lovage. The celery-flavored leaves and stalks are used in soup, salads, and similar dishes. Lovage grows well from seed in partial shade and moist, fertile soil. Mature plants may be 4 to 6 feet high. And that's what lovage looks like. Marjoram. Marjoram is a tender perennial. In cold climates, it is grown as an annual. The plant reaches 8 to 12 inches and thrives in a light, rich soil with neutral pH in full sun. It has a shallow root system, so mulching around the plant helps retain soil moisture and keeps down the weeds. Marjoram is highly aromatic and its flavor improves with drying. Harvest just before the flowers open. And that's what marjoram looks like. And I am going to be trying to plant it and grow it. Herbes de Provence is a blend of summer herbs from the south of France, used in soups, stews, and chicken dishes with tomatoes and sauces, or in anything even remotely Mediterranean. 2 teaspoons of dried thyme, 1 teaspoon of dried basil, 1 teaspoon of dried marjoram, 1 teaspoon of dried rosemary, 1 teaspoon of dried savory, a half a teaspoon of ground fennel, half a teaspoon of dried lavender flowers. Combine all ingredients and store in an airtight container. Makes about a quarter cup. And I think I'm going to actually put that together and start using that in dishes. Well, once we have all our herbs, that is. And get on the property and get our gardens going. Which I'm getting kind of anxious about it because I feel like we're kind of running out of time. But God will provide. God will provide. And I'm probably going to buy some more of those window boxes and get a lot of my herbs going down here. So I can have some herbs going here. I'm going to end up having to buy a bunch more herb seeds because for what we're going to plant, I don't have near enough. Not even close.
Still open?
Alright, mint. And I love fresh mint. Mints are hardy perennials that often attain 3 feet. They are notorious spreaders. They prefer a moist, rich soil and thrive in full sun to partial shade. Harvest throughout the summer by cutting stalks just above the first set of leaves as soon as the flower buds appear. Hang to dry for 10 to 14 days. And that's what mint looks like. Oregano. Oregano or wild marjoram is a hardy perennial reaching 18 to 30 inches. This plant grows in ordinary soil but prefers well-drained sandy loam. If the pH is below 6.0, add lime and calcium. And you can, the calcium, you can use dried eggshells for that too. Oregano likes full sun away from winds, mulch where winters are severe. Propagate by seed, divisions, or cuttings. The seeds are slow to germinate. It's best to set out young plants. Space them 15 inches apart. Cut the stems an inch from the ground Cut the stems an inch from the ground in the fall, just before the flowers open, and hang to dry. And this is what oregano looks like. Okay, parsley. There are 2 main types, Italian parsley and French or curly parsley. Both herbs are a hardy biennial, often grown as an annual. The plants reach 12 to 18 inches and thrive in moist, rich soil. They prefer full sun but survive in partial shade. Seeds take 3 to 4 weeks to germinate, so it's best to set out young plants, spacing them 8 to 10 inches apart. Okay, so I'll probably go ahead and get some marjoram, some more lavender. If I can find it, lemon balm. That actually didn't take much to germinate. Mint, oregano, parsley plants, and maybe probably some more rosemary. And just pot those and take my cuttings from them. Okay. Okay. Pick parsley fresh all season. Cut the leaves in the fall and dry or freeze them. And that's what the parsley looks like. That's the curly parsley and that's the Italian parsley. Pennyroyal. This old-time medicinal herb was used for flavoring and to cure a variety of illnesses. Native Americans and early settlers also used it as an insect repellent. Grow pennyroyal from seed cuttings or root divisions. The plants grow 1 foot high and prefer shade in the moist soil. So I'm going to have to get some seeds for that because I don't have any. Pennyroyal. Okay. Rosemary. And I have one of those. Rosemary is used as both an aromatic and a flavoring herb in sauces, soups, and teas. This tender perennial evergreen shrub grows to 2 to 6 feet. Chloe, rosemary grows up to 2 to 6 feet high.
That's not honestly a favorite herb of mine, so I don't really care for it.
But it's also medicinal too. Some are mainly culinary. Rosemary must be sheltered or grown in containers and taken indoors in winter in cold areas. It thrives best in warm climates and prefers moist, well-drained, alkaline soil. Apply lime or wood ashes to acid soil with a pH below 6.5. Wow, they didn't have that worded right. Grow rosemary from cuttings. See, I can use my one. I'm probably going to get at least one more plant of the rosemary, another one of the lavender. I'm going to try to have at least 2 of each one, and I'm going to use cuttings from them to start my other plants. Root divisions or layering since seed germination is poor. Okay, I have to remember that. That's why it didn't germinate last year. Harvest all season or hang to dry for a winter supply. And then that's what rosemary looks like right there. Rue. Rue is a bitter medicinal herb used for centuries as an antidote to many poisons, but is easily grown from seed. But the ancient Greeks believed that a plant stolen from a neighbor's garden had more power than one acquired honestly. Plants grow 2 to 3 feet high and thrive in an alkaline soil in sun and partial shade. That's what rue looks like. And I'm going to try to get some seeds for that. Facts about herbs. 1. Dried herbs are more potent than fresh. 1 teaspoon of dried equals 1 tablespoon of fresh. That's actually cool that that's in here because I actually wondered about that. So I have that in here. That's nice because, see, guys, it's a book. It's hard copy. So I'll have this. I don't have to worry about looking it up online. To store fresh herbs, wrap them in barely damp paper towel, place inside reusable plastic bags, and keep refrigerated. Add most herbs about 30 minutes before the end of cooking time. Simmer slowly to release the flavor and retain volatile oils. The chopped leaves of fresh herbs may be frozen with water into ice cubes and then stored in labeled airtight freezer bags. Used to impart an herbal flavor to soups or stews. Use herbs in moderation. Some may be overpowering if too much is used. Alright, sage. Ooh. Sorry, guys. Sage is a hardy but short-lived perennial growing to about 2 feet. The mature stems become woody and should be pruned. Because the plant takes a long time to mature, transplants are usually set out. Space them 2 feet apart in a well-drained, rich soil in full sun. Add lime if pH is below 5.8. Water sage well while it is young. Harvest sparingly the first season. Increase yearly. Pick leaves any time, but harvest 2 crops a year. 1 in June and another in the fall to keep the plants less woody. Hang in small bunches to dry. Okay. I'm probably going to get several more plants of the sage if I can, if they still have them. And that's what sage looks like. Because I have 1. Scented geraniums. The leaves of rose geraniums are used in jelly and to make tea. Most varieties are grown primarily as scented houseplants. These geraniums are not frost hardy. Started from cuttings, they prefer full sun and well-drained soil. And that's what a scented geranium looks like, right there. Sorrel. Sorrel leaves have a sour, acidic citrus flavor and are used in soups and salads. Sorrel grows easily from seeds or division, prefers acidic soil, and often becomes a weed. Plants grow to 2 feet in the sun and partial shade. And that's what sorrel looks like. Chloe, you would probably like that. Sorrel has a sour, citrusy flavor. Sweet woodruff. Used in Germany for many centuries to flavor May wine. It has also been used as an ointment and perfume and as an internal medicine. Placed in drawers, it repels insects and gives sheets and towels a pleasant scent. Sweet woodruff likes acid soil. It is difficult to grow from seeds, so buy plants instead. The top may be cut and dried any time. The fragrance appears only after drying. Plants grow to 8 inches high. And this is what sweet woodruff looks like right there. Tarragon, and I'm definitely going to be growing that. Tarragon is a perennial. The French variety has the best flavor and is preferred to Russian tarragon, which is weedy and lacks essential oils. Tarragon grows 2 to 3 feet tall and tends to sprawl. Because it rarely sets to seed, propagate by cuttings or divisions. Tarragon prospers in fertile soil, sun, and moisture. Mulch the roots in late fall and divide every 3 to 4 years. Harvest throughout the summer. To dry, cut the stalks a few inches from the ground in early fall. Hang or screen dry. That's tarragon right there. And it's nice that they have these plants because it'll be a little bit easier to tell what they are when they first start coming up, even though I'm going to label the plants, which I have to get a lot more plant labels, but yeah. and then thyme. And some people pronounce it thyme, but whatever. The many varieties of this perennial include lemon thyme, creeping thyme, and garden or common thyme. And I have the common thyme seeds, and I have the lemon thyme plant that I bought, and I'll buy some more of those too. Most have ornamental, culinary, and aromatic qualities. Thyme is a short plant growing only 8 to 12 inches tall and is used as a ground cover in rock gardens. It flourishes in sandy, dry soils in full sun. Propagate by seeds, divisions, or cuttings, but the seeds are slow to germinate. Space thyme 15 inches apart. Rejuvenate an older plant by digging it up in early spring and dividing it. Fertilize with compost or seaweed. Harvest the leaves throughout the summer. To cut or to dry, cut the stems just as flowers start to open. Hang in small bunches. Harvest sparingly the first year. Right, and that's what the thyme looks like, or thyme as some people pronounce it, right there. Okay. I'll read this real quick. Bouquet garni. This traditional French herbal mixture will enhance any soup or stew. Tie sprigs of fresh herbs together in little bouquets, or use dried herbs and make up pouches to pop into the pot. 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley, 1 teaspoon of fresh marjoram, 1 teaspoon of fresh savory, which that wasn't in here. Summer savory, sorry. 1 teaspoon of fresh thyme, or thyme. 1 bay leaf. Cut a 4-inch square of cheesecloth and lay it flat. Pile herbs into the middle. Gather up the corners of the cheesecloth and tie with a length of string. Store in a closed container until ready to use. Yields 1 bouquet. Variation. You can vary the recipe by adding rosemary, basil, celery seed, or tarragon. Alright, the last one, watercress. Watercress is used for garnish and flavoring. If you have a shallow, slow-moving pond or stream where there is no threat of flood, you can try growing this flavorful, low-growing herb. Propagate by division. It can be easily transplanted from one stream to another, and that is watercress. And I actually do have seeds for that, so. Making more herbs. Once you've got a couple of herb plants, there's nothing to stop you from having more. Here's the 3 easy ways to make more plants for your herb garden. Stem cuttings. 2 or 3 3 to 6 inch cuttings can be obtained from one healthy stem. Strip off the leaves from the bottom third or half of each cutting. Dip the cutting in rooting powder, optional, and insert it into a pot of moistened perlite. Stem cuttings right there. Right there.
You're a kid, what do you know?
To make root cuttings, dig up the donor plant and slice sections from the root system. If you want to keep the donor plant as well as the cuttings, don't slice very large sections. Bury the sections in moist perlite. And then there's the root cuttings right there.
Where's the boy now?
Simple layering can produce new herb plants. After partly slitting a stem, lay it in a hole, one preferably amended with compost, adjacent to the donor plant, and tack it down to prevent it from working itself loose from the soil. In time, new roots will form on the buried section. When a good root system is developed, the new plant can be cut from the donor and transplanted. And that's the simple layering. And I'll probably try all of these different ways, so. And that was all for the 32 essential herbs. So I will go ahead and get this video up there. It's kind of long. I don't know if I'm going to have time to do another one or not. Well, I might try to do the making herbal vinegars real quick. Gotta find my paper. It's up there. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Get this video up there. I might have time to do that other one. I don't know. But I'm going to go ahead and get this one up there. And I will see you guys on the next video, whether it's real quick today or tomorrow. So I have tomorrow off, so I'm definitely going to be doing new videos tomorrow. I've started blocks for a new quilt, but I'll show that tomorrow since I don't have a lot of time right now, so my apple cider vinegar drink. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this off from there, or get this up there, and I will see you guys either in a minute or tomorrow. You guys all have a good day, and remember, do your research, guys. Do your research. See you guys in the next video.